Hello, Miriam E here with another exploration of poetry from my recently published book, Phoenix. If you haven't got a copy, you can get that via my website, miriammiles.com. You can also buy an ebook if you don't want to wait for the hard copy through Amazon. Yeah, I just wanted to share a few of the poems from the book and give you some insight into what I've written and why. If you don't know me, I am an Australian poet, and I also write pretty much in any form I possibly can get my hands on. I also compose music, mostly instrumental with a little bit of vocal stuff going on there, a bit experimental, and I dabble in a bit of digital art because it is so much fun. I am a grandmother, I'm a wife of 25 years, and I have 2 sons and a daughter-in-law. Yeah, just life is pretty, it is actually pretty blessed. It is pretty good, despite all of the crazy things that are going on in our world. So anyway, without further ado, Phoenix is an abstract or poetic autobiography. And if you've watched the previous video that I released, you'll know a little bit more about what that's about. But it is a chronicle of my personal journey from mental illness to wellness and the intersection of faith that I have explored throughout that. So today's poem is called Battle Hardened. I was flipping through the book and we had actually planned to read a different one, and then I saw this one and I thought, yeah, I think this sounds like a good one to go with today. So here we go. Tried to suffocate, but then I battle and to my words, but are stronger than I thought, hardened, and to suffocate my words, but stronger, thought, battle hardened. I've tried to suffocate my words, but they are stronger than I thought, battle hardened, and ready to fight. Now I have to show you this poem because it will make a lot more sense than what you probably thought was glitches in the recording. But if you have a look, there, hopefully that's not too blurry. And you can see that I have structured the poem in a way to hopefully represent that feeling of suffocation and disconnection, discord. So something that you'll find when you look at my poetry is a lot of it has a very visual component to it, and this is definitely one of them. And the reason that I do that is because I am a highly visual thinker. I explore the world very much through what I see, through what I touch, through what I hear, and those expressions for me are extremely crucial to how I then explore my craft and share my craft. So when I was putting this book together, I felt initially I had the poems just pretty much written out as, you know, basic stanzas, but they just didn't feel right. I felt like I actually felt like I was diluting part of what the way I express is. One of the things that my lovely husband said to me, which really gave me a push towards doing it this way, was that when he looks at the page, he doesn't just see the poem. He sees an artwork in a way, and that really encouraged me to continue using this unusual formatting and different ways in which to explore that. So that's what the visual part of it is all about, and as you can see there, I've also actually written out the full poem as it is supposed to be seen. So it is a fairly simple poem. I don't think it needs a huge amount of discourse, but the story behind it is probably more important. Anyone who knows me and has known me for a while would know that my writing journey probably started when I was in mid-primary school, probably even maybe at the age of 6 or 7. I remember lying underneath my bed, because I was little enough to lie underneath my bed, and I had set up pens and pencils and envelopes and writing paper, and I wrote letters to my friends. I have no idea what I wrote, but it was my little space, my little world. I grew up in a govey house, which for anyone who's not Australian would know, that's a little house that is part of the Housing Commission scheme that they have here, helping families on low incomes. And so, you know, we were one of those families, and I was the eldest of four. This was my haven, my little cave, my space of refuge from all of the chaos of family life. And I didn't fit under there for very long, I don't think. But I do remember fitting under there, and this little dark space where I could just be. And then, you know, throughout high school and all of that, I did a lot of writing, but mostly it was, you know, prompted by the education system. But one thing that did happen was in year 7, our teacher explained that we were going to journal. And I don't know, let's see if I can show you, but hold on, I don't quite know how to turn this around, so I'm just going to turn it around this way. I don't know if you can see along here. I'm not boasting at all, because they are not awful, but that is all my collection of journals from about 2002. When I was in high school, I had probably a dozen more journals, and the premise was that we had to write something every day. That was all we had to do. We just had to write something every day. I'm just repositioning you here. And we got ticked off at the end of the week. Like, they just, you know, saw that we'd written something. They didn't read it. They just looked at it and went, yeah, okay. And it was a way of encouraging us as young people to write something, and to write creatively, to write whatever we thought. We could put anything in there. There were no limits. You could use every word that you could find in the dictionary if you wanted. And I did. I used them a lot. And very creatively. And, you know, it was a time when I really, really needed an outlet. And so that was really important for me. Over the course of the years, of course, my writing has developed. But one of the things that hasn't developed for a very long, or didn't develop for a very long time, was sharing that stuff. And as you can see behind me, there are books and books there with thoughts in them that I've never shared with anyone, and probably never will. And that's okay. But when I say that I had tried to suffocate my words, it wasn't because I didn't want people to read them or hear them. It was because I was terrified of releasing them. I thought, well, what if I say this and it's the truth as I see it, but it hurts this person, or this person takes offense at it and never talks to me again? Relationship is like the absolute core of my being, and disconnection from relationship is the thing that you could use to kill me because it means so much to me. And so for a very, very long time, I have held back on the things that I really care about. I've held back on sharing my opinion publicly because I'm afraid of judgment, afraid of rejection. So when I've released this book, I knew that it was the beginning of really speaking, really saying the things that I believe are important. And I started with a poetry book, not because it's poetry, but because it felt like the most distilled and clarified version of what I have experienced that I could provide to a reader. And I hope that that is what it provides for you. I hope that because my words are battle hardened and ready to fight, and that I have finally let them out, that they will encourage you, that they will support you in your journey, that you will be motivated to explore your own experience that you may even pick up the pen yourself and write. So I will leave it at that for now, and I will release another video, and probably still in the same clothes, because as you know, we all do these things in, you know, sequential order. What do they say? Continuity, isn't that what you're supposed to do? So, you know, just because I love you so much, please consider buying my book, and or getting it on ebook if you prefer. Have a look at my website, miriammiles.com, and check out all of the different things I write. I'm constantly blogging on there, and I share all kinds of different things. So if you're not into poetry, there are other things that you can experience there too. Please let me know what you think of what I'm writing. I really greatly value your feedback, and I take it to heart. I really do think about it. Even feedback that may not be as positive as a person would like, I really do appreciate it when I get that, because it helps me to grow and develop as a writer and as a human. So thank you so much for listening and for watching my little video, and I will see you next time.